In a sleepy village, a rich man's body lies in a ditch accident or murder. Miss Marple, the sharp old lady, digs in. A missing niece, hidden jewels, and a poisoned maid spark danger. Greed burns, secrets hide letters, a prowler, a storm, traps suspects. She watches, thinks, and unmasks a killer. Justice wins. Peace returns. Will she crack her trickiest, most dangerous case? Grab on truth, unravels fast. Chapter 1. The whisper of danger. Miss Jane Marple sat in her cozy cottage in St. Mary Mead, her knitting needles clicking softly. She loved these quiet afternoons, her fingers busy with soft wool, her mind sharp and wandering. Outside, the village hummed with life. Birds chirped, children laughed, and the baker's cart rattled by. But today, a strange feeling hung in the air, like a storm waiting to break. She adjusted her shawl, a pretty pink one her niece sent last Christmas, and peered out the window. The garden bloomed with roses and daisies, but her eyes caught something. Odd Mrs. Penny, the vicar's wife, hurrying down the lane, her face pale and worried. Miss Marple tilted her head. Mrs. Penny was a cheerful soul, always chatting about recipes or church flowers. This look wasn't like her. A knock came at the door. "Come in," Miss Marple called, setting her knitting on the table. The door creaked open, and Mrs. Penny stepped inside, her hands twisting her scarf. "Oh, Miss Marple, I'm so glad you're here." Mrs. Penny's voice shook. "Something awful's happened." "Sit down, dear," Miss Marple said kindly, pointing to a cushy chair. "Take a breath and tell me everything." Mrs. Penny flopped down, her eyes wide. "It's Mr. Clarence, the new man who bought Willow Hall. They found him this morning dead in a ditch by the road. The doctor says he fell, hit his head. An accident, but folks are whispering it's no accident at all." She knew St. Mary Mead. This sleepy little village hid secrets sometimes. People were people greedy, scared, or angry, and that could lead to trouble. "Mr. Clarence, you say? I heard he moved in last month." Quiet man kept to himself. "Yes." Mrs. Penny nodded fast. Tall, gray hair, fancy clothes. "Came from London, they say, with pots of money. But now he's gone, and tongues are wagging." Miss Marple leaned back, her mind racing. She'd seen this before years ago. Young Tommy Briggs fell off a ladder, but it turned out his cousin pushed him over a debt. Village life taught her. Accidents weren't always accidents. "Found him?" she asked. "Tom, the gardener. At Willow Hall," Mrs. Penny said. "He was cutting hedges near the lane at dawn. Saw Mr. Clarence lying there, cold as stone, mud on his coat, head bashed. Tom ran for the constable, and Dr. Haydock came quick. They carried him off, but the talk's already started." "What kind of talk?" Miss Marple's voice was gentle but sharp. She reached for her tea, a habit to keep her hands busy while her thoughts dug deep. Mrs. Penny leaned close, whispering, "Some say he had enemies. Roger, his nephew, was seen yelling at him last week, something about money. And Mrs. Pike, the housekeeper up there, never liked him, always grumbling. Others think he knew too much secrets, maybe from his city days." Miss Marple sipped her tea, the steam warming her face. She pictured Mr. Clarence rich, new, a stranger. Strangers brought change, and change made folks nervous. She remembered old Mrs. Trout, a gossip who hid stolen silver and her barn people lied to protect themselves. "Did anyone see him last night?" She asked Lucy, the maid at Willow Hall. "Said he was in his study, writing letters, late," Mrs. Penny replied. She brought him tea at 9, then went to bed. "No one knows why he was out by the ditch so early." Miss Marple nodded, her mind like a puzzle box, fitting pieces together. A rich man, a dark night, a lonely road trouble brewed there. "Thank you, Mrs. Penny. I'll think on it. Care for a biscuit?" Mrs. Penny shook her head, still jittery. "No, thank you. I'm off to the vicarage tea party today. Will you come? Everyone's talking about this. I'll be along." Miss Marple said with a small smile. "I'd like to hear more." Mrs. Penny bustled out, and Miss Marple sat still, her eyes bright. No, she watched and listened. People showed their hearts in little ways: a frown, a quick word, a shaky hand. She'd solved mysteries before murders. The walk to the vicarage was short, past the butcher's, the post office, and the green where ducks waddled by the pond. The sun shone, but a chill wind tugged her scarf. Trouble, she thought, had a way of hiding in pretty places. At the vicarage, the tea party buzzed. Tables held cakes, scones, and teapots, steam curling up. Ladies in hats and men in jackets chattered loudly. Miss Marple slipped in, quiet as a mouse, and took a seat by the window. She poured tea, added a splash of milk, and listened. Mrs. Bellows. The baker's wife leaned to Mrs. Dane. "I say Mr. Clarence was pushed. He had gold and someone wanted it." "Nonsense, Mr. Dane," the shopkeeper huffed. "Fellow tripped, that's all. Dr. Haydock said so." "But why was he out at night?" Mrs. Bellows shot back. "No lantern, no kotod, I tell you." Miss Marple's ears perked. Odd indeed. Rich man didn't wander dark lanes for fun. She nibbled a scone, crumbs falling to her plate, and watched. Across the room, young Roger Clarence, the nephew, stood by the fireplace. He was handsome tall, dark hair, a smart suit, but his hands fidgeted, and his eyes darted. Nervous, she thought. Her face was hard, lips tight, eyes cold. She wore a gray dress, stiff and plain, and snapped at a boy who spilled jam. Miss Marple knew that Lucongar deep and old. Like Mrs. Green, who poisoned her husband over a grudge years back. Then Lucy, the maid, hurried by, a tray wobbling in her hands. She was young, red-cheeked, her apron crooked. Her eyes were wide, scared, and she glanced at Roger, then away. Miss Marple tilted her head. Fear told stories. Maybe Lucy saw something, heard something. Miss Marple, vicar, a jolly man with a round face, waved. "What do you make of this sad business?" She smiled, soft and wise. "Too early to say, vicar, but people talk and I listen. We'll see." He chuckled. "You've a sharp mind. Solved that missing necklace last year, didn't you?" "Just watched folks," she said, eyes twinkling. She wouldn't brag, but her brain was busy. Why was Mr. Clarence out? Who gained from his death? Roger with debts, Mrs. Pike with hate, someone else hiding. Roses bloomed and bees buzzed, but her thoughts were on Willow Hall. That big, creaky house, full of shadow secrets, lived there. She'd visit tomorrow, she decided, to see it herself. A man dead in a ditch, whispers of murder. It felt dangerous. Deeper than a fall, the wind picked up, rustling her skirt. She pulled her shawl tight, thinking of old cases, cheats, liars, killers. People never changed. Greed, love, or fear pushed them, and she'd find the push here. Mr. Clarence's death wasn't simple. She felt it in her bones. Back inside, Roger laughed too loud. Mrs. Pike glared, and Lucy dropped a spoon, jumping at the clatter. Miss Marple watched, quiet, her mind spinning. Danger whispered, and she'd chase it, step by careful step, till the truth shone clear. She finished her tea, the cup warm in her hands. This case, she thought, might be her trickiest yet. Dangerous, yes, but Miss Marple loved a puzzle. She'd dig, listen, and win, like always. The sun dipped low, painting the sky pink. She stood, stick in hand, ready to head home. Tomorrow, Willow? Hall waited. The truth hid there, and she'd find it slow, smart, and sure. Chapter 2. The curious Miss Jane Marple woke early. The sun peeking through her cottage curtains in St. Mary Mead. Birds sang outside, and the air smelled of fresh grass. She sat up, her white hair neat under her nightcap, and reached for her glasses. Yesterday's news, Mr. Clarence, dead in a ditch, stuck in her mind like a burr. The village buzzed with talk of an accident, but whispers of murder tickled her thoughts. She'd seen too much to believe every fall was chance. She dressed in a soft blue skirt and blouse, pinned on her brooch, and made tea. The kettle whistled. As she buttered toast, her mind busy, Mrs. Penny's words rang clear. Mr. Clarence, rich and new, left a will. Who got his money? Greed, she knew, turned folks wicked. Years back, old Mr. Tate left cash to a nephew, and his wife pushed him down the stairs for it. People never changed. A knock rattled the door. Miss Marple opened it to find Mr. Reed, the village lawyer, hat in hand. His face was red, his eyes jumpy. "Good morning, Miss Marple," he said. "I've news about Mr. Clarence's will. Thought you'd want to hear, seeing as you notice things." "Come in, Mr. Reed," she said, smiling. Tea, she led him to the table, her cozy room bright with sunlight. He sat, mopping his brow with a hanky. "Thank you," he said, sipping. "It's a queer will, I tell you. I read it yesterday at Willow Hall, after the constable called me. Mr. Clarence left most everything house, gold, all of it to a niece, Eliza. Problem is, no one's seen her in years, not a trace." Miss Marple's eyes sparkled. "Eliza, you say missing? That's odd. What else did he write?" Mr. Reed leaned close, voice low. "The rest goes odd ways. A bit to Roger, his nephew enough for a new suit, not much. A small sum to Mrs. Pike, the housekeeper. For loyal work, nothing for the gardener, Tom, or the maid. Lucy. Folks expected Roger to get the Lottie's family, and he's been hanging about, hungry for cash." Miss Marple nodded, stirring her tea. A missing niece? A skimpy share for Roger Trouble brewed there? She recalled young Sally, who got a big inheritance and vanished when a cousin got mad. "Where's this Eliza? Any clue?" "None," Mr. Reed sighed. "Clarence wrote she'd come forward when the time was right. Sounds like he knew something hit her. Maybe. The will signed. Proper. Dated a week ago." But Roger was red as a beet, shouting he'd been robbed. Mrs. Pike just stared, cold as ice. Miss Marple tilted her head. Anger and greed, old friends and dark deeds? Did Mr. Clarence seem scared? Writing a will so quick, that's a sign? Mr. Reed frowned. "Can't say. I met him once. Polite. Sharp. Kept his business close. He came from London. Made money in trade, they say. Why he'd hide Eliza, I don't know." "Thank you, Mr. Reed," she said, her smile warm. "You've helped a lot." He tipped his hat and left, boots clumping down the path. Miss Marple sat, thinking. A will favoring a ghost girl, a cross nephew, a stern housekeeper pieces. Of a puzzle, people killed for money, she knew. Had someone? She grabbed her stick and hat, a sturdy brown one, and stepped out. The lane to Willow Hall wound past fields, cows mooing, and the mill's creaky wheel. She walked slow, her eyes sharp, watching sparrows flit. Why hide a niece? Why die in a ditch? Her bones told her this wasn't simple. Willow Hall loomed ahead, a big stone house, old and gray, with ivy climbing high. Windows stared like eyes, and the gate squeaked as she pushed it. The garden was wild roses tangled, grass tall. She knocked, and Lucy, the maid, opened the door, her face pale, apron smudged. "Oh, Miss Marple," Lucy gasped. "Come in. It's a mess here." The hall was grand dark wood, a big staircase, dusty rugs. Miss Marple smiled. "Just visiting, dear. I'd like to see where Mr. Clarence lived." Lucy led her to a study, a room of books, a desk, and a leather chair. Papers sat neat, a pen beside them. "He wrote here," Lucy said, hands shaky. "Letters, the will, late at night. I brought tea, then left him." Miss Marple nodded, eyes roaming, a quill ink, a locked drawer secrets hid. Maybe. "Did he seem worried, Lucy?" The girl bit her lip. "Quiet, ma'am. Stared out the window a lot, paced some, said once. Keep your eyes open, Lucy. All serious." I didn't know why. "Thank you," Miss Marple said, patting her arm. Lucy scurried off, and Miss Marple lingered. A rich man, nervous, dead soon after. She stepped to the window, seeing the lane to the ditch muddy, lonely, had he walked there or been lured. Footsteps thumped. Roger burst in, tall, dark eyes flashing. "Miss Marple, what brings you?" His voice was loud, his smile tight, hands in pockets. "Just looking, Roger," she said, calm, sad about your uncle. "Oh, duh. Will surprised you?" He flushed, jaw tight. "Up to me, that's what. I'm blood, and he gives it all to some girl no one knows. I needed that money debts. You see, it's not fair." Miss Marple watched him, quiet. His temper flared like young Ben's, who fought his dad over a farm and turned nasty. Patience. Roger, things come clear. He huffed, stalking off. Mrs. Pike swept in, gray dress, stiff, eyes hard, snooping Miss Marple. Her tone bit. Visiting Miss Marple said, sweet. A strange will, Mrs. Pike. You knew him well? Worked hard for him, she snapped. Got a pittance for it. He was odd locked doors, secret talks. Good riddance, maybe. She turned away, sharp and cold. Miss Marple's heart beat. Fast. Anger, greed, danger danced here. She left the study, stick tapping, and paused outside. Tom, the gardener, raked leaves, his hands rough, eyes down, glanced up, jumpy, then back to work. Scared, she thought, like a boy caught stealing. Walked the grounds, the ditch nearby, deep, muddy, rocks sharp. Mr. Clarence fell here, they said. She squinted. No skid marks. No broken twigs. A fall or a push. Her mind spun greed for a will, fear of secrets. Eliza, missing, held a key. Back home, she sat by the fire, knitting again. The will was curious. Eliza got all. Roger raged. Mrs. Pike fumed. Someone lied. She felt it. Years ago, a man hid cash, and his brother struck him down. Was this the same? The clock ticked. Shadows grew. Miss Marple sipped tea, her mind bright. Willow Hall hid truth letters, locks, or a lost niece. Danger, whispered louder, and she'd listened close. Tomorrow, she'd dig deeper, slow and smart, to find who turned a will into a wicked deed. Chapter 3. Shadows at Willow Hall. Miss Jane Marple woke to a gray dawn in St. Mary Mead, the sky heavy with clouds. Rain tapped her cottage window, a soft patter, as she pulled on a warm gray dress and her cozy shawl. Her mind buzzed with Mr. Clarence's death found in a ditch. A strange will leaving all to a missing niece, Eliza. Roger's anger and Mrs. Pike's cold glare stuck with her. Trouble hid, and Willow Hall called her back. She buttered toast, brewed tea, the kettle hissing, and thought hard. A rich man dead, a will sparking greed. Her village taught her how folks turned dark for money or secrets. Years back, Widow Gray's son fought over land and left a bruise. Was this a push? Not a fall? She grabbed her stick and sturdy hat, ready to poke around. The walk to Willow Hall was damp, rain dripping from trees, the lane muddy under her boots. The big stone house loomed, ivy wet and clinging, windows dark like secrets. She knocked, and Lucy, the maid, opened the door, her red cheeks pale, eyes big. Miss Marple, it's wet, come in quick. Inside, the hall smelled of dust and polish, the air chilly. High ceilings and old paintings stared down stern faces, old Clarence's. Maybe, thank you, Lucy, Miss Marple said, smiling, like a look around. Where did Mr. Clarence spend his days? Lucy led her past the study to a parlor, a grand room with velvet chairs, a big fireplace, and tall windows. Rain streaked the glass, shadows dancing. Here, ma'am, Lucy said, hands twisting her apron. He'd sit, read, or talk to folks Roger. Mostly, sometimes, Mrs. Pike. Miss Marple nodded, eyes sharp. A table held a pipe, a book, and a glass, empty but smudged. She pictured Mr. Clarence here, planning, worrying. Did he have guests, Lucy? Strangers? Lucy frowned. A man came once, a week ago tall, gruff in a dark coat. They argued in here, voices loud. I heard keep quiet before he left. Mr. Clarence looked shaky after. Miss Marple's heart jumped. An argument, a warning clues piled up, like old Mr. Dunn, who quarreled before his barn burned. Thank you, dear. In this room anything odd? Lucy bit her lip. He locked that cabinet she pointed to. A tall wooden box by the wall always. Kept a key in his pocket. Never let me near it. Miss Marple eyed the cabinet, dark oak, a brass lock solid. Secrets hid there. She bet papers, money, or worse. You're a help, Lucy. The girl blushed, scurrying off to the kitchen. Footsteps clacked. Mrs. Pike. The housekeeper swept in, her gray dress stiff, face hard as stone. Back again, Miss Marple. Her voice was sharp, eyes narrow. Poking about won't bring him. Back. Just looking, Mrs. Pike, Miss Marple said, voice soft, eyes keen. A sad loss. You locked up after him at night? Mrs. Pike crossed her arms. Always. Doors bolted by 10. He'd stay up writing, then go to bed. That night he was out, don't ask me why. I found the side door open at dawn, mud on the... Matt, Miss Marple tilted her head. It's an open door, Mud. Someone left or came in. He trusted you, I'm sure. Hard work, this big place. Hard enough, Mrs. Pike snapped. He paid fair, but fuss locks quiet, odd rules. Kept too. Himself, mostly. She turned, heels clicking away, leaving a chill. Miss Marple wandered, stick tapping the floor. Shadows stretched long, the house creaking in the rain. She peeked down, a hall door shut, one ajar. She nudged it, finding a small room, dusty, with crates and a desk. A scrap of paper lay there, torn ink smudged. ... meet me ... ditch ... trust no one. Her pulse raced. A note, a plan danger loomed. Outside, she met Tom, the gardener, digging in the wet dirt, his cap low, hands rough, and soaked his coat. Morning, Tom, she called, gentle. Sad about Mr. Clarence? You found him? Yes? Tom jumped, shovel shaking. I ma'am, he mumbled, eyes down. In the ditch early, head bloody. I ran for help, awful sight. His voice wobbled. Hands tight, Miss Marple watched, scared, jumpy like Timmy who lied after a theft. He walked out often, Tom. At night? Not much, Tom said, digging fast. Saw him once, late, pacing the path, looking back like he feared something. I don't know, ma'am. He turned, shoveling hard. She nodded, rain pattering. Her hat, fear, a note, a locked cabinet, pieces fit, but not yet. She circled the house, the ditch close, mud thick, rocks jagged. No footprints now. Rain washed them, but a broken branch caught her eyes napped. Fresh. A struggle? Her mind WHIR read. Roger dashed out, coat flapping, face red. Miss Marple? Still here? This rain'll soak you? Laugh was loud, eyes flicking side to side. Nervous, she thought. Just walking, Roger, she said, calm. Mr. Clarence liked this path. To the ditch? He shrugged, too quick. Yes, so. Restless man. Wandered odd hours. Bad luck, that fall. He rubbed his hands, glancing at the house. Got to go business. Miss Marple smiled, watching him hurry off. Restless or lured. Roger's debts, Mrs. Pike's temper, Tom's shakes. Lucy's fright shadows grew dark at Willow Hall. That cabinet nagged her. The note screamed trouble. She trudged home, mud on her boots, rain slowing. The village glowed soft cottages, smoke curling from chimneys, but her thoughts raced. A man argued, locked things away, died in a ditch. Greed, fear, or hate drove this. She felt it. Like cases long ago, Keats and killers hiding in plain sight at her cottage. She lit the fire, flames popping, and sat with tea. The note meet at the ditch. Trust no one meant a trap. Who wrote it? Who met him? The cabinet held answers, she'd bet. Mrs. Pike bolted doors, but one opened. Tom saw him pace. Lucy heard him worry. Roger fumed over money. Miss Marple leaned. Back, eyes bright. Willow Hall's shadows hid a deed dark, dangerous. She'd return, ask quiet questions, watch close. A killer lurked, and she'd find them, step by slow step, with her sharp, gentle way. The clock chimed, rain drummed. Danger crept closer, but Miss Marple sipped tea, ready. Truth waited, and she'd tease it out, sure and steady, from this murky, stormy mess. Chapter 4. The second death, Miss Jane Marple, sat by her cottage window in St. Mary Mead. The morning quiet, a soft breeze stirring her curtains. It was Friday, June 6, 2025, and the clock showed just past 2 in the afternoon. She held her knitting, needles clicking, but her mind raced Mr. Clarence. Dead in a ditch, a odd will, a torn note, saying, meet me, ... trust no one. Shadows clung to Willow Hall, and danger felt close. She sipped tea, the cup warm. Thinking of Roger's nerves, Mrs. Pike's cold stare, Tom's shakes, and Lucy's fright. A sharp rap at the door jolted her. She rose, stick in hand, and opened it. Young Billy, the baker's boy, stood there, cap askew, face white. "Miss Marple," he gasped. "Trouble at Willow Hall. Lucy, the maid, she's dead. He found her in the kitchen, all still." Miss Marple, heart sank. "Dead how, Billy?" Her voice stayed calm, eyes sharp. "Poisoned, they say." Billy panted. Mrs. Pike yelled for the doctor. "Dr. Haydock's there now. Ran here quick, folks. Know you figure things out." "Thank you, Billy," she said, gentle. "Run along, I'll come." He dashed off, and she grabbed her hat, a plain gray one, and her shawl. To death's Mr. Clarence, now Lucy tied together, she'd bet. In her village she'd seen it, a man killed to hide a theft, then a witness hushed, greed or fear pushed. This, and fast. The path to Willow Hall was short, past the pond, ducks quacking, and green fields. The big stone house loomed, grim under a cloudy sky, ivy dripping from last night's rain, crowd milled villagers, a constable whispers flying. Miss Marple slipped through, stick-tapping, eyes keen. Dr. Haydock met her at the door, his face grim, glasses low. "Miss Marple, bad business. Lucy's gone, found by the stove. A cup spilled, froth on her lips, poison, likely in her tea. Dead an hour, maybe." Miss Marple nodded, mind worry. "Poor girl. Who saw her last?" "Mrs. Pike," he said. "She came to the kitchen at noon, found her cold, says Lucy was fine this morning, brewing tea, cleaning. There's no one else around, she claims." Miss Marple stepped inside, the hall chilly, shadows deep. The kitchen smelled of bread and soap, but a sour temps hung heavy. Lucy lay on the floor, covered now, her apron stained, a broken cup nearby. Miss Marple's chest tightened on. "Scared Lucy? Gone." "What tea, doctor?" she asked, soft. He pointed to a tin, open, leaves scattered. "That one. Smells bitter, maybe doctored. Constable's taking it to check." She drank, collapsed, quick and quiet. Miss Marple knelt, slow, eyeing the scene. A spoon, a sugar bowl, a puddle of tea poison was sly, personal. She'd known a cook once, slipped nightshade to a rival, silencing talk. "Lucy knew something," she murmured. "About Mr. Clarence, I'd guess." She rose, stick steady, and found Mrs. Pike in the parlor, hands clasped, face hard. "Awful, Miss Marple," the housekeeper said, voice flat. "Lucy was clumsy, but good. I left her at 11, came back, and there she was, dead." Miss Marple watched her, gentle. "You made tea, Mrs. Pike? For her?" "No." Mrs. Pike snapped, eyes flashing. She brewed her own. "I was upstairs, dusting. Who'd do this? Mad, I say." Her hands shook just a bit. "Sad indeed," Miss Marple said, calm. She noted the trembled nerves or guilt. Mrs. Pike marched off, stiff, and Miss Marple turned. Away, thinking. "Lucy saw Mr. Clarence that night, said he was odd, worried." A killer hushed her. She felt it. Outside, Tom, the gardener, leaned on a rake, cap low, face pale. "Tom," Miss Marple called, kind. "Poor Lucy? You saw her today?" He jumped, eyes wide. "Mornin', ma'am." She fetched water, chatted happy she was. "Then this I just worked the beds." He dug at the dirt fast, hands quaking, miss. Marple nodded, scared, like a lad caught fibbing. She moved on, spotting Roger by the gate, coat loose, pacing. "Roger," she said, a shock, yes. Lucy was sweet. He stopped, face red, eyes darting. "Horrible, Miss Marple. Good girl, no harm in her. I was out village errands, came back to this mess." He rubbed his neck, quick, twitchy. She smiled, soft, nervous, like a boy who owed money and lied. "You're kind, Roger. Stay safe." He nodded, bolting off. Miss Marple stood, breeze cool, mind racing. To death stitch, now poison. Lucy knew a secret, saw something, and paid. She walked the grounds, stick sinking in mud, eyes sharp. The ditch lay near, where Mr. Clarence fell rocks mud. No clues left.
Back at the house.
That locked cabinet nagged her, and the note, trust no one. Poison took planning someone close. Clever. Mrs. Pike brewed no tea, she said. Tom shook. Roger ran. Constable Reed approached, hat in hand. Miss Marple, a puzzle. Lucy poisoned after Clarence falls. You've a knack, any thoughts? Early. Constable, she said, eyes twinkling. But folks talk act odd. Lucy maybe heard or saw too much. Watch them close. He nodded, scribbling. Miss Marple headed home. Sky gray, village quiet cottages, smoke, calm outside. Inside, her mind buzzed. Poison was bold, mean tied to Clarence, she'd swear. Greed for the will? Fear of a secret? Years ago, a wife poisoned a maid who blabbed same here. At her cottage, fire lit, she sat, tea steaming, knitting in hand. Needles clicked, but her brain worked. Lucy's fright, Mrs. Pike's snap, Tom's jumps, Roger's rush danger grew. The cabinet, the note keys to a dark deed. Two gone, and a killer hid here. She leaned back, fire warm, eyes bright. Willow Hall held Liz someone close, sly. She'd go back. Listen, look, ask quiet things. A second death meant hurry, and Miss Marple, steady and smart, would find the hand behind. It's sure as day. Chapter 5. A trail of letters, Miss Jane Marple sat in her St. Mary Mead cottage. The clock ticking past 2 in the afternoon, Friday, June 6, 2025. Rain had stopped, but a damp chill hung, and her fire crackled warm. She held her knitting needles busy, but her mind raced Mr. Clarence dead in a ditch. Lucy poisoned in the kitchen, a odd will, a torn note. Danger grew thick at Willow Hall, and she felt it deep, like a storm brewing. She sipped tea the cup, cozy in her hands, thinking hard. Lucy saw Mr. Clarence that last night, looked scared after. They poison hushed her, quick and means someone feared a secret. Roger's nerves, Mrs. Pike's sharp words, Tom's shake clues piled up. Miss Marple knew folks, hid bad deeds behind smiles. Like a shopkeeper she caught stealing years back. A knock came, soft but quick. She opened the door to find Dolly, the postman's girl, hair wet, eyes wide. Miss Marple, news from Willow Hall. They found letters, old ones, in the attic, and folks are buzzing. Letters? Miss Marple's brows rose, heart jumping. Come in, Dolly, tell me. She led the girl to a chair, poured tea, and sat, gentle and keen. Dolly nodded, clutching her cup. I'm a box and a leak up there. Found a box, Dusty. Hidden under boards? Letters from Mr. Clarence to that niece, Eliza? Mrs. Pike brought 'em down, and Roger's in a huff. What did they say, dear? Miss Marple asked, voice soft, eyes bright. Don't know all, Dolly said. Constable Reed took 'em. But I heard bits Mr. Clarence wrote, keep safe, Eliza, and they mustn't know. Sounds secret. Village says it's why he died. Miss Marple leaned back, mind worry. Letters to a missing girl, protection. A hidden truth. She'd seen this old, Mr. Blake wrote to his son, hinting at a feud, then turned up dead. Thank you, Dolly, you've helped. The girl smiled, scampered off. Miss Marple grabbed her stick and hat, a warm brown one, and stepped out. The village glowed cottages neat, smoke curling, hens clucking, but trouble stirred. She walked to Willow Hall, mud soft under boots. Breeze cool. The big house stood tall, gray stone damp, windows dark. She knocked, and Mrs. Pike opened, face stiff, eyes cold. Miss Marple again? Mrs. Pike said, sharp, we're upside down. Letters Lucy dead, all a mess. Just a look, Mrs. Pike, Miss Marple said, calm. Those letters, may I see where they were? Mrs. Pike huffed, led her up creaky stairs to the attic, a dim, musty place. Beams loomed, cobwebs hung, boxes sat dusty. There, Mrs. Pike pointed to a loose board. Tom pried it up, found a tin box, gave it to the constable. Old papers, that's all. Miss Marple nodded, eyes scanning. Hiding spot secret? Safe. Mr. Clarence tucked them away. Did he go up here much? Rare, Mrs. Pike said, arms crossed. Poked about, locked things, quiet man. I've work, excuse me. She marched off, heels snapping. Miss Marple lingered, stick tapping. Dust showed footprint stubs, big and fresh. Splintered board, a hiding place. Mr. Clarence feared something. She climbed down slow and found Constable Reed in the parlor. Letters spread on a table, yellowed, ink faded. Miss Marple. He greeted, hat off. Found 5 letters, all to Eliza, years old. Listen, my dear Eliza, stay hidden. They'd hurt you for it. I'll guard the truth. Your legacy's safe. Another says blackmail's near. Don't come yet. Odd, eh? Very, Miss Marple said, eyes twinkling. He hit her, feared someone. May I read one? He handed her a page, paper crinkly. She read, Eliza, my joy, they seek what's yours, money, power. Trust no one. I'll fix it. Love, Uncle. See, her mind spun. Blackmail, a legacy, danger. Like a lady years ago, hiding a child from greedy kin, then gone missing, who'd blackmail him, Constable. She asked. Gentle. No clue, he said. No names, just they, Eliza's. Lost Village never saw her. Roger's mad, says she's a fake to steal his share. Miss Marple nodded, handing it back. Blackmail pushed folks hard kill to keep quiet, maybe. She stepped out, air fresh, and saw Tom, raking leaves, head low. Tom, she called, kind. You found the box, brave work. Anything else up there? He flinched, rake wobbling. Just that, Mom Doosty tin, letters inside. Took it down, that's all. His eyes darted, hands tight. She smiled, watching, jumpy, scared hiding a bit. Good boy, Tom. He dug at leaves, fast. She moved on, spotting Roger by. The door, face red, pacing. Miss Marple. He burst out, voice loud. Letters to some ghost girl. Uncle cheated me my money, gone to a lie. I'll fight this. Calm, Roger, she said, soft. Truth comes out. You read them? His nerves danced, like a lad caught in a fib. Saw one, he muttered. I'll hide Eliza nonsense. I was out here fixing a gate, not up. There, he stomped off, fists clenched. Miss Marple stood, breeze tugging her shawl. Letters blackmail, a lost niece danger tied Clarence to Lucy. Someone knew too much, struck twice. She walked the path. Eyes sharp, ditch near mud, rocks. Quiet now. A trail of letters led somewhere dark. Home, fire warm, she sat, tea steaming. Knitting clicked, but her brain raced. Clarence hid Eliza, feared blackmail money, or a secret. Lucy died, maybe saw who met him, pushed him. Mrs. Pike snapped. Tom shook. Roger raged guilt hid close. She leaned back, eyes bright. Letters were a trail to a killer, a motive. Willow Hall buzzed with lies, greed, fear, hate. She'd go back, ask soft questions, watch faces. Second death, a hidden girl danger burned, and Miss Marple, wise and steady, would hunt the truth, step by. Quiet step. Chapter 6. The Nighttime Intruder. Miss Jane Marple sat by her fire in St. Mary Mead. The clock ticking past 8 at night, Friday. June 6th, 2025. Shadows danced on her cottage walls, the wind howling outside. Her knitting rested in her lap, needles still. But her mind raced Mr. Clarence dead in a ditch, Lucy poisoned, letters to a hidden niece, Eliza, hinting at blackmail. Danger clung to Willow Hall, and she felt it, sharp and close, like a fox. In the henhouse, she sipped tea, the cup warm, thinking hard. Those letters, Clarence feared they would hurt Eliza, guarded a secret. Lucy knew something, paid with her life. Roger's temper, Mrs. Pike's cold eyes, Tom's shake someone. Hid a dark deed. Years back, a thief crept at night. Caught by a creek she knew, sneaky folks struck in the dark. A soft thud came from outside, near the garden. Miss Marple froze, ears sharp. A twig snapped, then quiet. Her heart beat fast, but she stayed calm. Old hands steady. She set her tea down, grabbed her stick, and tiptoed to the window. Moonlight lit her roses, but a shadow moved tall quick. By the gate, she slipped on her shawl, heart thumping, and opened the door a crack. Cold air rushed in, the night black and windy. "Who's there?" she called, voice firm. No answer, just a rustle in the bushes. Brave but wise, she shut the door, bolted it, and waited, eyes keen. Trouble followed her now. Next morning, sunbright. She checked outside mud, showed footprints, big, deep, leading to her shed. A scrap of paper lay caught in thorns, torn, ink smudged. ... Woods ... Hide it ... Her pulse jumped. Clue dropped by a night prowler. Like a lad she nabbed, sneaking for stolen coins, leaving tracks. She tucked the scrap in her pocket, grabbed her hat, a sturdy gray one, and headed to Willow Hall. The village hummed, kids played, carts rolled, but her mind spun. An intruder. A note danger aimed at her, maybe for poking close. The big house rose, gray stone, cold, ivy thick. She knocked, and Tom, the gardener, opened, cap low, hands dirty. "Miss Marple." He stammered, eyes wide. "You're early." "Morning, Tom," she said, kind. "A word anyone odd here last night?" She watched, gentle but sharp. He shook, rake wobbling. "No, ma'am. I locked the gate, slept in my room, heard nothing." He turned, digging fast. Face red dot, Miss Marple nodded. Jumpy, scared, hiding a bit. She stepped inside, hall's dim air, musty. Mrs. Pike swept by, gray dress stiff, face hard. "You again, Miss Marple?" "We're rattled, Lucy. Gone. Letters found." Checking Mrs. Pike, she said, .com. "Last night doors locked? No one crept about?" "Bolted tight," Mrs. Pike snapped. "I checked at 10. Bed after. No one in or out, silly talk." Her eyes flicked, hands tight. Then she marched off. Miss Marple wandered, stick tapping, to the study. That locked cabinet nagged her secrets hid there. She paused, hearing boots. Roger burst in, coat messy, eyes wild. "Miss Marple, this place is cursed first uncle, now Lucy. I was in the village, late at the pub." She smiled. "Soft, safe, Roger. You walked home? Alone?" His nerves danced like a boy fibbing over a debt. "Alone, yes," he said. "Quick, dark, quiet bed by midnight." He rubbed his neck, dashed out. Miss Marple thought fast. Prowler at her cottage, a note about woods. She slipped outside, sun warm, and eyed the path. The ditch where Clarence died lay. Near, mud dry now. Beyond, a wood stretched, trees thick, shadows deep. The scrap said woods a clue called. She walked, slow, stick steady, leaves crunching. Birds sang, but quiet hung heavy. Deep in, she spotted a cleared spot. Earth turned fresh. She knelt, careful, and dug with a stick. A tin box, small, rusty, came up. Inside, jewels winked tread. Blue, shiny, and a note. "Hide these, see? They'll kill for it." Her breath caught. The jewels. A warning blackmail, like the letters said. A man once hid gold, died for it, kin fighting mad. Someone crept last night, lost a clue, aimed to scare her. She pocketed the note, hid the box back, and stood, eyes sharp. Back at Willow Hall, Constable Reed met her, hat in hand. "Heard you're snooping. Anything new?" "Careful-looking constable," she said, twinkling. A thought checked the woods, odd spots. "Folks hide things, get bold at night." She kept the box quiet, safe, till she puzzled more. He nodded, scribbling. Miss Marple trudged home. Sun high, village cottages, smoke, dogs barking. Danger nipped close, an intruder, jewels, deaths. Her fire glowed, tea steamed, knitting. Clicked. She pulled the scraps. Trust no one. Now woods. Hide it. Clarence hid wealth, feared a foe, died. Lucy saw, went quiet. Roger roamed late. Mrs. Pike locked tight. Tom shook, guilt, skulked. A prowler came, bold, close. She leaned back, eyes bright, mind racing. Jewels sparked greed, blackmail pushed fear to dead, and she was next, maybe. Willow Hall hit a killer, sly and near she'd go back, watch faces, ask soft words. Danger. Crept. But Miss Marple, wise and steady, would chase the truth, slow, sure, through this dark, twisty trail. Chapter 7. Village Whispers. Miss Jane Marple sat in her cozy St. Mary Mead cottage, the clock ticking past 2 in the afternoon, Friday, June 6, 2025. A soft sun lit her curtains, the fire popping warm. Her knitting lay still, needles quiet. As her mind raced Mr. Clarence dead in a ditch, Lucy poisoned letters to a hidden Eliza, jewels buried in the woods, a nighttime prowler at her gate. Danger swirled thick, and she felt it, sharp and sneaky. She sipped tea, cup warm, thinking. Fast, that scrap woods. Hide it, and the tin of jewels tied to Clarence's fear of blackmail. Someone crept last night, dropped a clue, meant to scare her. Roger's nerves, Mrs. Pike's cold snap, Tom's shakes guilt hid close. She'd seen it, told Mr. Cobb, caught whispering lies, hiding a theft. A chatter drifted from the Lane Village voices. Miss Marple rose, stick in hand, and peeked out. Folks gathered at the shop, heads closed, words flying. Time to listen, she thought. Village talk spilled truth, little bits, like crumbs. She pinned on a neat hat, gray and simple, wrapped her. Shallon stepped out. The lane buzzed, kids ran, carts creaked, hens pecked. At the shop, Mrs. Bellows, the baker's wife, waved. Miss Marple heard the news. Lucy poisoned, Clarence gone, villages wild.
And sad days, Miss Marple,
Said, gentle, eyes sharp. What's the talk, Mrs. Bellows? She leaned close, voice low. Plenty, Roger. That nephew owes money, big debts to Jim at the pub. Yelled at Clarence days before, wanting cash. My Tom saw M, loud by the mill. Miss Marple nodded, mind clicking. Debts drove folks mad, young Sam begged, then stole, years back. Roger's upset? Yes. Anything else? Mr. Dane, the shopkeeper, piped up, wiping hands on his apron.
I can't.
Mrs. Pike's a sour one, grumbled to McClarence paid. Late bossed her hard. She'd mutter, he'll get his, dark like, buying tea last week. Miss Marple's heart jumped. Anger, deep and old, brewed trouble. She worked hard, I hear. And Tom the gardener. Mrs. Bellows hushed her tone. Odd boy, my girl. Saw him sneak about, late, past the woods nights before Clarence died. Digging, maybe? Jumpy as a cat? What's he hide? Miss Marple smiled, soft. Like a lad caught with a poached hen, twitching. Folks notice a lot. Lucy, anyone see her odd before she went? Mr. Dane frowned. My boy said she was scared. Day before dropped eggs here. Kept looking back, muttering he knew too. Much, poor lass. Miss Marple's mind spun. Lucy knew a secret, died for it. Thank you both, she said, kind. She drifted to the green, ducks waddling, sun warm. Village Whispers sang Roger's debts, Mrs. Pike's grudge, Tom's. Sneaky nights. A killer used misdirection, she thought, like a poacher tossing tracks. She sat on a bench, stick by her side, watching. Old Mrs. Hill, knitting by the pond, waved, Miss Marple, awful doings. I reckon Clarence caught a cheat, city folks say he had jewels, hid him from rogues. Jewels, Miss Marple asked, gentle. Interesting, Mrs. Hill. Who'd know? Roger. Hung round, greedy, Mrs. Hill said. Mrs. Pike snooped. I'd bet always in his rooms. Tom, too, poked in the dirt, saw him myself. Dusk, edgy. Miss Marple nodded, eyes bright. Ch. Jewels matched her fine blackmail, greed. She'd hid the tin, safe for now. Years ago, a man buried cash, got struck down, same here. She rose, walked slow, past cottages, smoke curling, air fresh. A boy, Timmy, ran up, cap flying. Miss Marple. Heard at the mill Roger, pawned a watch last week, Clarence's, they say. Needed money bad. Good lad, she said, patting his head. Roger, desperate, selling goods clues stacked. She turned to Willow Hall, the big house gray, windows blank. She knocked and Tom opened, raked down, face pale. Miss Marple, stammered, eyes darting. Quiet day, ma'am. Hope so. Tom, she said, kind. You're out late sometimes? Village sees things. He blushed, hands shaky. Just work, ma'am, clearing weeds, dark or not. I do my job. He bolted to the garden, fast. Miss Marple stepped in. Hall's dim. Air cold. Mrs. Pike swept by, stiff eyes hard. Still here, Miss Marple? Gossip won't fix this? Just walking, she said, calm. Folks say you and Clarence clash tough, boss? Bossy, yes, Mrs. Pike snapped. Picky's secret deserved a lesson, maybe. I'm busy. She flounced off. Sharp, Roger rushed in. Coat loose, face red, Miss Marple. Village yapsy, I'm broke. I loved Uncle, needed help. That's also to watch for bills. She smiled, soft. Hard times, Roger, be easy. He nodded. Eyes jumpy, and ran. Miss Marple walked home. Sun dipping, sky pink. Whispers rang Roger owed. Pond, Mrs. Pike hated. Tom crept. Lucy's he knew, too much burned. Aquila hid, misdirecting, sly. She'd seen it, a wife lied, tossed clues, got caught at her fire, tea hot, knitting clicked. Jewels, letters, death screed, or fear drove this. A prowler watched her, danger near. Roger, Mrs. Pike, Tom Gilt danced. She'd dig, watch, ask quiet bits, steady and wise, to nab the truth in this wicked web. Chapter 8. The secret in the woods. Miss Jane Marple woke early in her St. Mary Mead cottage. The clock showing just past 7, Friday, June 6, 2025. A pale sun peeked through curtains, birds chirping outside. She pulled on a warm brown dress, pinned her shawl and brewed tea, the kettle humming. Her mind buzzed Mr. Clarence dead in a ditch. Lucy poisoned letters to Eliza, buried jewels, a prowler at her gate. Village whispers Roger's debts, Mrs. Pike's grudge, a taunt. Sneaky nights pointed to danger, close and sly. She sipped. Tea, cup cozy, thinking fast. That scrap woods. Hide it led to a tin of gems, a note warning Clarence of killers. Someone watched her, dropped a clue. Greed or fear drove this, like a farmer she knew, hiding gold, struck down by kin. Today, she'd hunt the woods again. She grabbed her stick and hat, a plain one, and stepped out. The village glowed, cottages neat, smoke rising, air crisp. She called Constable Reed first, meeting him by the lane. He tipped his hat, face serious. Morning, Miss Marple. You're up early news? Walk, Constable, she said, gentle, eyes sharp. The woods by Willow Hall. Check their odd spots. Things hide, you know. She kept the jewels quiet, safe till she puzzled more. Will. Do, he said, nodding. To deaths. Queer stuff. Here hunches help. He strode off, and she turned to the path, stick steady, boots firm. Willow Hall loomed, gray stone cold, ivy thick. The ditch Clarence's and lay near, mud dry now. Beyond woods stretched, trees tall, shadows deep. She walked slow, leaves. Crunching, wind cool, her eyes scant, twigs snapped, dirt turned. She aimed for that cleared spot, heart thumping, clue in mind. Deep in birds' hushed air still. She found it earth loose, her stick's marks from yesterday. She knelt, careful, digging slow. The tin box gleamed, rusty, holding jewels red. Blue, brighten the note. Hide these. See, they'll kill for it. She frowned, mind racing. Blackmail Clarence hid wealth, feared a foe. A crunch sounded footsteps, close. She stood, stick tight, heart fast. Who's there? She called, voice firm. No reply, just a rustle, then quiet. She tucked the note in her pocket, pushed the box back, covered it quick. Danger stalked, like a poacher she'd caught, snaking silent. She turned, eyes sharp, scanning trees. A shadow flitted tall, fast gone in a blink. Her pulse raced, but she stayed steady. wise from years of puzzles. Back to the path she moved, stick tapping, woods dark. Someone new watched her, wanted that tin. At Willow Hall she knocked. Breath short. Tom opened. Cap low, hands muddy. Miss Marple. He gasped, eyes wide. You're Palal, right? Fine, Tom, she said, kind. Walked the woods quiet there. You dig near, yes? He shook, voice wobbly. Just garden, ma'am, beds, weeds. Stayed here, I swear. He fled to his rake. Fast Miss Marple stepped in, hall's dim, air cold. Mrs. Pike swept up, gray dress stiff, face hard. Out early, Miss Marple. Woods are wet, foolish trip. It's just air, Mrs. Pike, she said calm. You check the grounds? Odd folks about. Locked tight, Mrs. Pike snapped. No one roams my jobs? Sure. Work calls, she spun. Heels sharp. Roger burst in, coat wild, eyes jumpy. Miss Marple, you're everywhere, Woods. I was in, slept late, heard nothing? He rubbed hands, twitchy. She smiled. Soft, fresh air. Roger, stay easy. He nodded, dashed off. Miss Marple thought Tom shook. Mrs. Pike bit. Roger dodged. A shadow in the woods. After her fine danger pressed, she met Constable Reed outside. By the ditch. Checked, Miss Marple, he said. Found a spade mark. Fresh in the woods. Deep. No more yet. Good eye, she said, twinkling. Keep looking, hiding spots tell tales. She held back jewels. A stalker, too raw to spill. She walked home. Sun higher, village calm kids laughed. Dogs barked at her fire, tea hot. She sat, knitting still. Her mind whirled jewels, sparked greed. Letters hit Eliza, too dead. A prowler trailed her, steps in the woods after her clue. Years ago, a man buried loot, died kin, struck, scared of talk, same here. She pulled the notes, trust no one, woods, ... hide it. Clarence stashed wealth, feared a killer. Lucy saw, got poison. Tom dug, Mrs. Pike locked. Roger lied, guilt skulked. Shadow chased her, bold near. Miss Marple leaned back, eyes bright. The woods held a secret, jewels, a motive. Willow Hall buzz lies, fear hate. She'd return. Watch close, ask soft bits, steady and smart, to catch this sly hand in a deadly game. Chapter 9. A gathering storm. Miss Jane Marple sat in her St. Mary Mead cottage. The clock ticking past 2, Friday, June 6, 2025. 2:05 p.m. PKT. Dark clouds rolled outside, wind howling, rattling her windows. She held tea warm in her hands, knitting. Still, but her mind raced. Mr. Clarence dead in a ditch. Lucy poisoned, letters to Eliza, buried jewels, a prowler, a shadow in the woods. Danger pressed close, and she felt it. Heavy and wild, she thought fast jewels sparked greed. Letters hid fear, to gone. A figure stalked her yesterday, after her find. Roger's twitchy ways, Mrs. Pike's sharp tongue, Tom's shakes guilt. Danced near like a storm, trouble brewed. Years back, a wife turned nasty, hid a deed clues, built slow, then broke. Thunder growled, rain lashed down, a knock banged urgent. She grabbed her stick, opened the door. Constable Reed stood, hat wet, face grim. Miss Marple. Storm's bad folks stuck at Willow Hall. Come quick, your eye helps. Ready, she said, gentle, eyes sharp. She pulled on a thick shawl, sturdy hat, and followed, boots splashing. The village blurred, cottages dim, paths, mud, rained fierce. Willow Hall loomed, gray stones slick, windows glowing faint. Danger gathered here, she knew. Inside the hall dripped hair, cold shadows long. Roger, Mrs. Pike, and Tom huddled in the parlor, fire crackling, faces tense. Wet coats hung, boots. Muddied the rug, Constable Reed waved. Storm traps, U.S. roads flooded. Stay till it clears. Miss Marple nodded, eyes keen, watching. Roger paced, hands jumpy, eyes darting. Rotten day, he burst, voice loud. Uncle dead, Lucy gone, now this. I just want peace. His fingers twisted, red face shiny. She smiled, soft. Hard times, Roger. Sit, warm up. He flopped down, leg bouncing, glancing at Mrs. Pike. Mrs. Pike stood stiff, gray dress damp, eyes cold. She poked the fire, sparks flying. Mess all of it, she snapped. House full, no work done storms, a curse. Her hands gripped the poker, tight, jaw set. Patience, Mrs. Pike, Miss Marple said, calm. She saw the grip anger. Or nerves. Like a maid, mad, who swung a pan once. Tom slouched by the window, cap low, hands shaky. Rain drummed, thunder rolled. Awful weather, ma'am, he mumbled, eyes down. I checked the sheds, all locked, then came in. Fidgeted, glancing at Roger. Good Tom, she said, kind. Jumpy, scared hiding a bit? Said stick by her. Tea brought by a nervous cook. Got the room buzzed, tension thick. Eyes flicking. A killer sat here, she bet, trapped by rain. She sipped, watching. Roger's legs shook. He glared at Mrs. Pike. She stared back, sharp, then turned away. Tom peeked out, hands trembling. Miss Marple. Thought Clarence died. Lucy too. Jules hid. Notes warned. Greed or fear pushed this, and Storm locked them close. Constable, she said. Quiet. Any news? Clues in this rain? He frowned, voice low. Checked woods, found mud stirred fresh near your spot, spade marks odd. No more water. Hides it, rubbed his chin. Eyes on the three, miss. Miss Marple nodded, mind worry. Jules buried, a prowler after her someone new. She leaned to Roger, gentle. You walked nights, Roger? Before the storm? He jumped, red. No, pub once, home early bed, I swear. His eyes shot to Tom, quick. She turned to Mrs. Pike. Doors tight, Mrs. Pike? No one slipped out. Bolted. She bit, eyes hard. Checked last night. Storm or not safe here. Her fist clenched. Fast. Miss Marple eyed Tom. Sheds, Tom? You dig much? Wet or dry? Just work, ma'am, he stammered, pale. Dirt, plants, nothing odd. He looked away, hands quaking. Thunder crashed, lights flickered. Miss Marple's. Heart raced, tension sang. Clues fit. Roger's debts? Mrs. Pike's hate? Tom's sneaky ways village talk buzzed in her head. Letters hid Eliza. Jules tempted. Lucy saw too much. A killer fidgeted here. She felt it. Rain pounded. Wind wailed. She watched Trigger's sly glances. Mrs. Pike's tight lips. Tom's trembles. Years ago, a man lied, paced, got caught, same signs. The storm held them, and truth crept near. Sad days, she said, soft to all. Clarence, Lucy, why? You think? Roger shrugged, loud. Bad luck. Uncle fell, Lucy sick, maybe? His eyes dodged. Mrs. Pike scoffed. Fools. Clarence wandered. Lucy clumsed a chance. That's all. Her voice cut. Sharp. Tom mumbled. Dono, ma'am. Awful. Both pure bad. Shrank. Twitchy. Miss Marple leaned back. Tea cool. Eyes bright. Lies swirled. Someone struck. Hit it. Jules, blackmail, death speeches clicked. The storm raged. Locking them in, and danger burned. She'd watch, listen, poke gentle, steady and wise, to nab the truth in this wild, wet night. Chapter 10. The Truth Unravels. Miss Jane Marple sat in the parlor of Willow Hall. The storm raging outside. Friday, June 6th, 2025. 2:05 p.m. PKT. Rain lashed windows. Thunder boomed. The fire crackled in the dim room.
Ow.
She gripped her stick, shawl. Snug, eyes sharp, watching Roger paced, red-faced, hands jumpy. Mrs. Pike stood stiff, gray dress neat, gaze cold. Tom slouched, cap low, fingers shaky. Constable Reed lingered by the door, hat wet. To death's Mr. Clarence in a ditch. Lucy poisoned Jules hid. Letters warned. A prowler stalked. Truth bubbled close, and she'd tease it out. The air felt thick, Tension, fear, lies. Miss Marple sipped tea, cup warm, mind racing. Jewels in the woods, notes of blackmail, village talk Roger's debts, Mrs. Pike's grudge, Tom's sneaky nights. Lucy knew a secret, died fast. Years back, a liar cracked under quiet eyes she'd. Try that now. Sad days, she said, gentle, voice clear. Mr. Clarence, Lucy gone. Let's talk here, stormbound. Who'd hurt them? Puzzled. It and clues fit. All looked up, eyes wide, room still. Roger stopped, face red. What clues, Miss Marple? Uncle fell? Lucy bad tea? Maybe? His hand shook, voice loud. Mrs. Pike snapped, eyes hard. Nonsense accidents, both why fuss. I worked. Locked doors. Her fists clenched, tight. Tom mumbled, pale.
Ow.
Ma'am. Awful luck. Pure bad. He shrank, glancing at Roger. Miss Marple smiled. Soft, wise. Not luck, I think. Clarence died. Ditch no skid. Pushed, I'd say. Letters hit Eliza, warned of blackmail. Jewels buried. Greed. Fear. Lucy. Saw got poison. Someone's sly here. She watched, keen. Roger gasped, stepping back. Pushed? Me? I loved Uncle. Debts. Yes. Pawned his watch-needed cash. Night he died, I was pubbed home late. His eyes darted fast. Mrs. Pike glared, voice sharp. Rubbish. I ran this house bolted tight. Clarence wandered. Foolish. Man. Lucy, clumsy girl my, tea's fine. Her cheeks flushed, hands twitchy. Tom shook, cap down. I just gardened. Found him. Ran for help. No harm, ma'am. He looked away, trembling. Miss Marple leaned forward, gentle. Clues talk. Clarence feared they hid jewels, Eliza. A note said meet. Ditch lured out. Lucy brought tea. Looked scared. Said he knew too much. Poisons. Quick. Close. A prowler came. Dropped woods. Hide it after me. For digging. Constable Reed nodded. Eyes on all. Mud and wood, spade mark sod. Fresh. We're close, Miss Marple. She went on, calm. Roger, you owed big. Yelled at him. Sold his watch. Mrs. Pike, you grumbled. He'll get his village heard. Tom, sneaking nights digging. Odd? One of you struck? I feel it. Roger yelled. Not me. Pub? I swear, asked Jim. I'm no killer. Sweat beaded, hands wild. Mrs. Pike scoffed, cold. Lies. I slaved here, hated his fuss. Yes, but no more. Slept that night. Her eyes flicked. Quick, Tom whimpered. Just work, ma'am. Weeds, dirt, never hurt him. He hid his face, shaky. Miss Marple's eyes twinkled, mind clear. Let's see. Clarence had Jules' years back, I'd guess. A job, a haul. He hid him, feared theft, wrote Eliza, to stay safe. Someone blackmailed give, or else. He met M. Ditch, got pushed. Lucy saw heard poison shudder. Prowler chased my trail. She paused, watching. Roger sweated. Mrs. Pike froze. Tom quaked. Mrs. Pike, she said, soft. You locked doors, but one opened mud inside. Tea tin by Lucy, bitter your hands, fixed meals. Clarence crossed you, and Jules tempted. You, I think. Mrs. Pike turned red, eyes blazing. Me, old woman, you're mad? I cleaned, cooked, never touched him. Her voice cracked, hands shook. Miss Marple stayed steady. Years ago, a wife hid greed. Struck quiet, same here. A knew Jules. From his rooms poked. Found clues. Pushed him. Hushed Lucy. Prowler your step. To scare me. Mrs. Pike staggered. Face white. No. I dash. I ... Double quotes. She sank. Sobbing. All right, he had gems I saw years back. He bragged. Hid em. I asked. He laughed greed. Got me? Lured him I pushed. Ditch. Lucy heard. Guessed I slipped poison. Her tea. Tried to spook you, night sorry. Constable Reed stepped up. Firm. Mrs. Pike, you're held murder. 2 counts. He cuffed her. Gentle. as she wept. Miss Marple leaned back, tea cool, heart steady. Roger gaped, Tom sighed, storm roared. Truth unraveled, greed drove her, fear hid it. Like old cases, lies broke under quiet eyes. Justice came, and she'd done it, slow and wise.
Chapter 11. The Final Confrontation. Miss Jane Marple stood in the parlor of Willow Hall, the storm howling outside. Friday, June 6, 2025, 2:06 p.m. PKT. Rain pounded windows. Thunder crashed. The fire flickered low. Constable Reed held Mrs. Pike, her hands cuffed, face wet with tears, her gray dress limp. Roger gaped, eyes wide, hands still. Tom slumped, cap low, shaking less now. Miss Marple gripped her stick, shawl snugged. Heart steady Mr. Clarence, pushed to a ditch. Lucy poisoned, jewels hid, truth out, danger lingered, and she'd tie it tight. Mrs. Pike sobbed, voice broken. I did it, greet Jules. Clarence mocked me, kept M secret. I lured him, pushed him. Lucy guessed. I panicked poison in her tea. Tried to scare you, Miss Marple. At night forgive me. Miss Marple nodded, gentle eyes sharp. Why, Mrs. Pike, tell us clear it all. She'd seen this years back. A man confessed, spilled, hate, eased his load. Truth healed, a bit. Mrs. Pike shook, head down. Years I slaved low pay, his fussy ways. Found a note once, cleaning jewels, big money, hid in woods. I begged to share, he laughed, said I'd get none. Anger, burned I wrote meat. Ditch, pushed him, dark night. Lucy heard me sneak, asked odd fear took me. I dosed her tea. You poked, I crept to your gate stop, you. Constable Reed frowned, firm. Murder, Mrs. Pike Clarence. Lucy, you're for trial. Where's these jewels? She gulped, pale. Woods, by the Oakton box, buried. I wanted cash, a new life. She swayed. Weak. MissMarpleSpoke.com. Constable, checked their rye, saw it, left it safe. Greed's a trap, Mrs. Pike. You hid, lied, struck twice. Her mind clicked greed, fear, like a cook she knew, killing for coins. Caught cold. Roger stepped up, face soft, eyes wet. Uncle gone, horrible. I owed money, yelled, but no killer. Miss Marple, I pawned his watch. Dumb, sorry. He rubbed his neck, shaky. She smiled, kind. You're clear, Roger. Mend your ways, that's pass. He nodded, head low. Tom peeked up, cap off, voice small. Ma'am, I dug, sneak scared. She'd blame me. Just weeds, I swear. Glad it's out. He sighed, steadier. Good, Tom, she said, gentle. Fear hid, but he was clean. Thunder rolled, rain fierce. Mrs. Pike wept, cuffed, and Miss Marple watched, wise. A killer owned up, but loose ends nagged Eliza the niece. Mrs. Pike, she asked, soft. Eliza, where's she? Clarence hid her. Why? Mrs. Pike sniffed, eyes down. He said little girl, far off, safe. Wrote letters, hid him, feared we'd rob her. To know where true, I swear. Her voice shook, spent. Miss Marple nodded, mind worry. Letters warned Eliza blackmail. Jewels. She turned to Reed. Constable, find her safe, I hope. Clarence guarded her, a legacy. Reed tipped his hat. Will do. Miss Marple, Wood's first jewels, then Eliza. You've cracked it. He led Mrs. Pike out, slow, her sobs fading. Rain splashed, wind wailed, parlor quiet. Roger looked up, timid. Miss Marple, you're clever. She fooled us mean, sly. I'll help Eliza, if she's found fix my mess. Kind Roger, she said, twinkling. Grow honest, you'll do. Tom nodded, shy, and they sat, storm locking them in. Miss Marple leaned on her stick, heart light. Clarence pushed. Lucy hushed greed, drove Mrs. Pike. Fear hid it. Jewels tempted, notes lured. A prowler failed. Like a cheat years ago, lies fell to her quiet watch. Justice rolled, sure and fair. Reed returned, coat wet, tin box and hand gems. Winked, red, blue. Found it Maine by the oak, like you guessed. She's held safe. Eliza's next letters guide us. Well done, she said, calm. Guard those. Find the girl. He grinned. Off again. The storm raged. Windows rattled. Fire glowed. Miss Marple sat, tea cool, eyes bright. Mrs. Pike faced truth murder. 2 souls. Done. Eliza loomed. A hope. Danger broke, and she'd won. Slow and wise. In this wild, wet fight. She looked out. Rain blurring. St. Mary Mead cottages. Dim. Peace. Near. A killer fell. Order crept back. She'd rest, then help Eliza. Steady and smart, tying this dark tale tight.
Chapter 12. Peace restored. Miss Jane Marple sat in her cozy St. Mary Mead cottage. The clock ticking past 2, Friday, June 6, 2025. 2:07 p.m. PKT. The storm had faded. A soft sun peeked through curtains, drying the wet earth. She held tea warm in her hands, knitting on her lap. Needles quiet. Her mind hummed Mr. Clarence pushed to a ditch, Lucy poisoned, Jules found, Mrs. Pike cuffed, confessing greed. Danger broke, and peace crept near. She sipped, thinking clear. Mrs. Pike lured Clarence, struck for Jules, hushed Lucy with poison, crept to scare her. Letters hid Eliza, a niece, safe somewhere. Constable Reed had the gems, sought the girl. Miss Marple smiled years back. A thief owned up. Order 1, like now. Human folly greed. Fear always tripped up. A knock came, gentle. She rose, stick steady, and opened the door. Constable Reed stood, hat off, face bright. Miss Marple, good news found Eliza. Lives far, a town over, safe. Letters let us she's coming, thankful, wonderful. She said, eyes twinkling. Tell me, Constable, how's she? Young, shy, he said, grinning. Eliza. 20, hid by Clarence feared robbers, he said. She's got his wheelhouse, money, jewels, all hers. Mrs. Pike's locked up, trial soon. You did it, ma'am. Miss Marple waved a hand, soft. Just watched Liz and folks show truth. Eliza's well, safe, happy, Reed said. Here tomorrow wants Willow Hall to fix it. Roger's helping Tom too. Village calms thanks to you. He tipped his hat off to work. She shut the door, sat, fire crackling. Sun lit her roses outside. Birds sang, air fresh. She thought Clarence guarded Eliza, died for it. Mrs. Pike's greed snapped, took 2 lives. Her quiet eyes, sharp mind, unraveled it, steady and sure. A tap sounded. She opened to Roger, coat neat, face shy. Miss Marple, I came to say thanks. Eliza's real. I met her as weak girl. I was dumb, debts, yelling gonna work, help her build Willow Hall new. Good Roger, she said. Kind, honest ways win. You'll do fine. He smiled, head low and left. Tom peeked in, cap off, eyes clear. Ma'am, you saved us. Scared I was hid. Nothing, just shook. I'll garden for Eliza. True work. He beamed. Boyish. Brave. Tom, she said. Gentle. Grow strong. He nodded. Dashed off. Miss Marple walked to her garden. Sun warm. Stick tapping. St. Mary Mead hum cottages glowed. Kids laughed. Carts rolled. Willow Hall, once dark, waited for Eliza new. Life. Bright hope. She smelled roses. Felt calm. Greed fell. Justice stood. Like cases long aglaze crumbled. To her watch, back inside, fire glowed, tea steamed. She knit, needles clicking, heart light. Liza safe. Inherited fair house, jewels, a start. Roger turned good. Tom helped Mrs. Pike, faced law. Village whispers eased, peace bloomed. She leaned back, eyes bright. Danger fled Clarence, Lucy. Rested, truth shone. Human folly tripped, and she'd won. Slow, wise, gentle. St. Mary Mead slept easy, and Miss Marple content. Sipped tea, ready for quiet days or the next puzzle, sure and steady.